The word quadratic comes from quad, meaning square, because the variable gets squared like x squared. A quadratic function's standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, where a cannot be equal to 0 and a, b, c are real numbers. How do you know if it's a quadratic function? If its highest exponent is 2, then it's a quadratic function. Here we have f of x is equal to 2x plus 5. Is it a quadratic function? Nope, it's a linear function because its highest exponent is 1. And here we have f of x is equal to 5x squared plus 2x plus 7. Is this a quadratic function? Yes, because its highest exponent is 2. Here we have different examples of quadratic functions.
So Aisha, how do you feel today? Positive! Interesting. But how would you feel if you got a 0 on your test? 0? Negative. We can say that her moods are like parabolas.
A quadratic function's graph is a U-shaped figure called a parabola. If it opens upward, it has a minimum point. If it opens downward, it has a maximum point. A minimum or maximum point is a turning point in a parabola.
Range, watch me domain, now watch me range, watch me domain.
A quadratic function's domain is always a set of real numbers. But for its range, you must solve for its restrictions using formulas. The first formula is y is greater than or equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Only use this formula if a is positive. If a is negative, use the formula y is less than or equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Here we have f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 3. The domain is the set of all real numbers. However, we have to solve for the range's restrictions. First, get the values of a, b, and c. Then use the appropriate formula to solve for the range. In this case, a is positive, so you use the first formula. Then, substitute the values of a, b, and c into the formula. Simplify the equation. Multiply 4 to 1, and then 3. On the other side, we get the answer of 2 squared. In the bottom part, we multiply 4 to 1. After all this, we get y is greater than or equal to 24 minus 4 all over 4. Then, we subtract 24 and 4. So we get 20 divided by 4. The range's restriction now is y is greater than or equal to 5. This means the range must be greater than or equal to 5.
Vertex! Vertex! Vertex!
What is the vertex? The vertex is the minimum or maximum point of a parabola. The vertex also has a standard form, which is f of x is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. We can solve for the vertex of a parabola using these two formulas. H is equal to negative b over 2a and k is equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Using earlier equation's values, we solve for the vertex using the formula for h first. Substitute the values into the formula and simplify. And here, we multiply 2 with the negative sign. This gives us negative 2. In the denominator, we multiply 2 to 1. Divide the negative 2 by 2. We get h is equal to, this gives us negative 2. In the denominator, we multiply 2 to 1. Divide the negative 2 by 2. We get h is equal to negative 1. Now, we solve k using its formula. Substitute the values into the formula and simplify. In the numerator, we multiply 4 to 1 and 3, which gives us 12. We also get the answer of 2 squared. In the denominator part, multiply 4 to 1. Subtract 12 and 4 and get the difference, and divide it by 4. This gives us k is equal to 2. Now that we have our vertex, put it into the vertex form. This gives us f of x is equal to 1 quantity of x plus 1 squared plus 2.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone.
The axis of symmetry is also known as the line of symmetry. It divides a parabola into mirror images. To make things easier, the axis of symmetry has the same value as h.
Anak, why are you crying?
My score is so low.
Oh, what did you get?
0.
The zeros of a quadratic function are the points at which a parabola intersects the x-axis. There are 4 ways on how to get the zeros of a quadratic function. First is factoring, then extracting roots, completing the square, and lastly, the quadratic formula.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. You used to call me on my cell phone, late night when you need